Life is easy. It's not perfect. It's not predictable, but it is easy until we complicate it with expectations that were never ours to begin with. We're born knowing how to breathe. We laugh without permission. We love without calculation, but somewhere along the line, we start trading joy for approval. We stop playing and start performing. We make life hard when we measure ourselves by someone else's ruler. We make it harder still when we chase timelines that never belong to us. You were never meant to move through life like a checklist. You were meant to feel it, to live it, to cry and fall and rise and laugh your lungs out. Not to earn your worth, but to realize it was never up for debate. Life is easy when you stop arguing with what is, hard when you try to edit the present with regrets from the past, even harder when you try to control the future with fear that hasn't even arrived. We forget that ease isn't the absence of effort, it's the absence of resistance to what's real. Maybe the truth is, we've been taught that struggle means value, that if it didn't break us, it wasn't worth anything. But life doesn't need to break you to be beautiful, it just needs to be lived. So what if you stop making it hard? What if you let go of the fight with yourself? What if the ease you crave isn't something you find, but something you remember? Because maybe, just maybe, life isn't hard. We're just afraid to live it as simply as it's asking to be lived. Life is inherently simple. It begins with breath. It begins with wonder. It begins with presence. But as we grow, the world starts whispering rules. It tells us who to be, how to act, what to want, and slowly we trade simplicity for structure. We learn that being enough isn't automatic. It must be earned. We learn that success means sacrifice, even if it costs our peace. We learn to doubt what once came naturally, our instincts, our joy, our ease. Expectations creep in like shadows at dusk. Be strong, but not too much. Be kind, but don't be weak. Stand out, but don't make anyone uncomfortable. We live for approval, applause, acceptance. And with every tick of the clock, we move further from ourselves. Life was never meant to be this heavy. It was never meant to be a performance. It was never meant to be a constant battle between who we are and who we're told to be. We complicate life when we chase perfection over presence, when we overthink instead of simply feel. When we carry timelines, labels, and roles like armor we never asked to wear. We forget how to be still. We forget how to be real. We forget how to be soft in a world that worships hard edges. But underneath all the noise, all the roles, all the striving, life is still simple. It waits for us like a quiet home. It's in the small things we overlook while chasing the big ones. A deep breath, a real laugh, a silent morning with no demands. The kind of joy that asks for nothing but your attention. Life hasn't changed. We just stopped listening to it. We stopped trusting that who we are, without all the layers, is already enough. And maybe, just maybe, the ease we long for isn't something to build, it's something to return to. We are born knowing joy, love, and authenticity. We enter this world with hearts wide open, no fear of judgment, no need to prove, no shame in being exactly who we are. A baby laughs without wondering if it's too loud. A child sings without worrying if it's off key. We dance because we feel like it. We cry when something hurts. We reach for what we love. It's all so honest, so raw, so real. But slowly, the world starts teaching us the rules. Not the ones that keep us safe, the ones that keep us small. We learn that being ourselves might make others uncomfortable. We learn that some emotions are too much, that some dreams are unrealistic, that love must be earned, that joy must be justified, that authenticity must be managed and filtered and watered down. And so, we begin to perform. We smile when we want to scream. We stay silent when something in us is begging to speak. We do what's expected not because it feels true, but because it feels safe. We wear masks so well, we forget they're masks at all. We become experts at pretending to be okay, pretending to belong, pretending to be who we think we should be. And every time we choose performance over presence, a small part of us dims. Not gone, just hidden. We trade wonder for worry, connection for comparison, expression for approval. But deep down, that child still lives inside us. The one who didn't need permission to be happy. The one who loved out loud, felt everything deeply, and never doubted their worth. That part of us isn't lost. It's just waiting for us to stop performing and come back home to what was always real. Measuring ourselves by external standards makes life unnecessarily hard. It's like chasing a finish line that keeps moving. Like running a race you never signed up for and still wondering why you feel so tired. From the moment we're old enough to compare, the world gives us a yardstick. Be this tall, score this high, look this way, achieve this much. And if you can't or won't, or simply don't, you start to feel like you're behind. But behind what? Whose clock are we following? Whose approval are we dying to earn? We scroll through perfect pictures and polished lives, and suddenly our own becomes not enough. Not fast enough, not impressive enough, not extraordinary enough to be worthy, and yet we were never meant to be the same, not our timelines, not our paths, not our pace. Still, we measure beauty by numbers, success by titles, happiness by appearances, and worth by the world's applause. But what the world celebrates isn't always what feeds the soul, and what looks good from the outside can feel empty on the inside. When you spend your life trying to meet someone else's standard, you start to forget what matters to you. You stop asking what feels right, what lights you up, what brings you peace. Instead, you strive. You compare, you chase, always reaching for a version of yourself that looks better on paper, but feels further and further from who you really are. You are not a number, not a title, not a role. You are a living, breathing, feeling human being. And when you stop measuring yourself by someone else's lens, you begin to see how far you've already come. You begin to define success on your own terms. You begin to live for something deeper than approval. You begin to live for truth. Chasing timelines and comparisons disconnects us from our own natural rhythm. We start living like we're late to success. Late to love, late to happiness, late to life. We look around and see people moving fast, posting milestones, checking boxes, achieving more, smiling wider, and somewhere deep inside, we start to feel behind. But behind asterisk, what asterisk exactly? There's no universal clock ticking for all of us, no single path we're all meant to follow. Yet we treat life like a competition with invisible finish lines. We compare stories that were never meant to match. They're chapter 20 to our chapter 3, their highlight reel to our behind the scenes, and in doing so, we lose the sound of our own song. We stop listening to the quiet voice within, the one that says, take your time, go your own way, you're not late, you're just different. But we don't trust that voice, we trust the noise instead. The noise of pressure, of timelines, of everyone else moving faster. And we start to sprint, not because we're ready, but because we're scared to fall behind. In the rush, we miss the beauty of the slow bloom, we miss the lessons that only come when you pause, we miss the wonder of unfolding in our own time. Your life is not a race, it's a rhythm, and when you stop dancing to someone else's beat, you begin to hear your own. A softer beat, a truer one, not always loud, not always fast, but always real. You are not meant to be in sync with the world, you are meant to be in sync with asterisk yourself. Asterisk and no comparison can tell you who you're meant to be or when you're meant to arrive. When you return to your own rhythm, you stop rushing, you start living, and you remember life unfolds best when it's not forced. Life was never meant to be a checklist, but an experience of presence and feeling. It wasn't designed to be lived in boxes or measured by how many tasks we complete. It was meant to be felt fully, deeply, honestly, but somewhere along the way we were taught to trade aliveness for achievement. We were taught that doing more makes us more, that being busy means being valuable, that reaching the next goal will finally bring peace. So we fill our days with checkmarks, wake up, work, succeed, smile, repeat. We tick off all the right things, but sometimes we forget to live. We forget to pause, to breathe, to listen, to feel the warmth of the sun on our face, to laugh from the belly, not the throat, to cry when it hurts without apology, to hug like we mean it, to speak like we believe it, to love without condition. Presence isn't something we schedule, it's something we allow, and feeling isn't weakness, it's the most honest form of being alive. You weren't born to impress, you were born to connect, to notice beauty, to chase wonder, to touch the depth of each moment before it passes. Life isn't a list to conquer, it's a river to flow with. It asks you to be not just do . And yet, we keep trying to measure life with numbers and outcomes, as if the moments that matter most could ever be counted. The sound of your favorite song at just the right time, the stillness after a long cry, the unexpected kindness of a stranger, the way your heart softens when someone truly sees you. Those aren't on any checklist, but they're everything, because life was never about getting it all done. It was about feeling it as it comes, letting it move through you, shape you, wake you up to what's real. Struggle is often glorified, but ease is found in surrendering to reality. We're taught that if it's not hard, it's not worth it. That pain means progress. That success must come with exhaustion, sacrifice, and suffering. We wear our burnout like a badge. We praise the grind, we applaud the hustle, and we silently break under the weight of it all. But what if it doesn't have to be that way? What if ease isn't laziness? What if rest isn't weakness? What if peace is a form of strength the world forgot how to honor? We chase struggle because we think it makes us valuable. We push through pain because we think it gives us purpose, but sometimes the bravest thing we can do is stop fighting everything as if life is a war to win. Surrender is not giving up, it's giving to what is. To what's real, to what's already here. Reality doesn't need to be resisted, it needs to be embraced. Not everything has to be fixed, not every emotion has to be solved. Not every moment has to be controlled. Ease comes when we stop arguing with the present, when we stop trying to bend life into something it's not, when we stop saying this shouldn't be happening and start saying this is happening. Now what? That's where power lies. Not in pretending we're okay when we're not in forcing ourselves through the storm, but in standing still long enough to feel the wind, to listen, to learn, to trust. Ease doesn't mean life gets soft. It means you get softer with yourself. It means choosing grace over pressure, presence over perfection, trust over tension. You don't have to prove your worth by how much you can endure. You don't have to glorify pain to earn peace. Sometimes the most powerful act is to lay down the armor, to breathe into the now, and to finally remember that life was never meant to be a constant fight. We resist what is, trying to rewrite the past or control the future. This causes suffering. We live in moments that no longer exist or try to grip ones that haven't arrived. We replay old conversations, rethink what we could have done differently, carry regret like it has the power to change what's already gone. But the past doesn't listen to our wishing. It doesn't shift no matter how tightly we hold on, and still we try. We rewrite it in our minds again and again, as if a better version of memory could finally bring us peace. Then we leap forward, plan the future down to every detail, try to predict outcomes, try to prevent disappointment, Try to stay 10 steps ahead so we never feel lost. But the truth is life never promised to follow our script. It never promised to match our timeline, our plans, our ideas of how things should go, and when it doesn't, we resist, we push, we panic, we feel out of control, because we are, and we don't like that. But control is an illusion dressed as safety, and resistance is the root of our suffering. What we resist persists. The more we fight the now, the more we drown in what can't be changed. Peace begins where resistance ends. When we stop clenching the past with guilt, when we stop gripping the future with fear, when we let the present be enough, not perfect, not certain, but asterisk enough. Asterisk, it's in this moment, this breath where freedom lives. Not in the past we can't edit, not in the future we can't control, but here, now, in the messy, honest, unfiltered now, we suffer when we refuse to be where we are, we heal when we choose to meet life as it is. Even when it's painful, even when it's not what we planned, because surrender is not weakness, it's wisdom, and sometimes the most powerful thing we can do is stop resisting the truth and start living it. Effort doesn't mean hard. Peace comes when we stop resisting and start flowing. We've been told that if something isn't difficult, it's not valuable, that if you're not struggling, you're not trying, that effort must hurt to count, but effort is not the same as suffering. It's not about grinding yourself down. It's not about pushing through pain just to feel worthy. Real effort can be soft, it can be steady, it can be deeply committed without being self-destructive. There is a difference between force and flow. Force is exhausting, it's clenched fists, it's trying to make life bend to your will, it's swimming upstream, gasping for air and calling it progress. Flow feels different, it's still effort but it's aligned. It moves with life, not against it. It listens instead of demands. It adjusts instead of controls. It trusts instead of fears. Flow is not passive. It's powerful in its own quiet way. It's the kind of effort that respects your energy, your body, your heart. You don't have to struggle to succeed. You don't have to break to grow. You don't have to prove your worth through burnout. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is to stop resisting the current and let it carry you. Let it show you that life isn't always about pushing harder. Sometimes it's about letting go of how it should look, letting go of who you think you should be, letting go of timelines, of pressure, of needing to have it all figured out. When you release resistance, ease finds you. Not because the path becomes easy, but because you stop fighting it. You stop making yourself wrong for not having it all together. You stop judging every misstep. You stop fearing the unknown and start dancing with it. That's where real movement begins. That's where true progress lives. Not in the noise of force, but in the stillness of flow. So yes, keep showing up. Keep putting in the work, but let your effort come from a place of peace, not pressure. Let it be fueled by truth, not tension. Struggle isn't required for worthiness. Life can be meaningful without being painful. But somewhere along the way, we started believing that only the broken deserve beauty, that only the exhausted deserve rest, that only those who have suffered enough are allowed to feel joy. We glorify the fight. We applaud the survivor. We say, look how strong they are. But we forget to ask why they had to be. We've made pain a prerequisite for value. We've made suffering the proof of effort. And we've mistaken constant difficulty as a sign that we're doing something right. But what if we didn't have to hurt to be whole? What if you didn't have to break down just to be seen? What if life could be deep, powerful, and rich without being heavy all the time? Your worth is not earned through pain. It is not measured by how much you've endured. It does not increase with your ability to carry burdens alone. You are worthy because you exist, because you breathe, because you feel, because you are human, and that alone is enough. Meaning doesn't come only from the ashes. It can also be found in soft moments, in simple joys, in quiet mornings and shared smiles. You don't have to suffer to grow. You don't have to bleed to become. Yes, life will bring its hard chapters. Yes, you will face storms. But pain isn't the only teacher. Peace teaches too. So does love. So does stillness. So does joy. You don't need to keep proving yourself through your wounds. You don't need to keep telling the same story of struggle just to feel valid. You can choose ease. You can choose rest. You can choose softness and still live a life that matters. Your life is allowed to be meaningful and gentle at the same time. It doesn't make you less wise. It doesn't make you less brave. It simply means you've remembered that you were never meant to earn your place here through pain. Ease is not something we earn. It's something we remember and reclaim. It's not a prize waiting at the end of your to-do list. It's not something granted only after the work is done. It's not a luxury reserved for the lucky or the retired or the healed. Ease is our natural state. It's the rhythm we were born with, the calm between breaths, the quiet behind the noise, before the world told us to hustle, before we were praised for productivity, before we confused busyness with importance. We knew ease. We knew how to rest without guilt, how to play without purpose, how to be without proving, but then came the messages: do more, be more, move faster, don't stop, don't slow down, and so we forgot. We forgot how to pause. We forgot how to breathe deeply and mean it. We forgot that doing less doesn't make us less. Now we chase ease like it's a goal to be reached, like it has to be earned through exhaustion, like peace is a reward for suffering long enough. But ease was never meant to be a finish line. It was meant to be a foundation, a way of being, not a temporary break from doing. It's found when we stop running from ourselves, when we stop measuring our worth by our output, when we finally allow ourselves to just exist without pressure, without apology. Reclaiming ease is not lazy, it's radical. It's a quiet rebellion against a world that profits from your constant striving. It's remembering that your soul doesn't move at the speed of your calendar, that your heart was never meant to be rushed, that your body knows how to rest if only you'll listen. Ease lives in your breath, in your presence, in your willingness to let go of what's not yours to carry. You don't need to prove anything to deserve peace. You don't need to keep pushing just to feel enough. Ease is not out there waiting to be earned. It's already within you, waiting to be remembered, waiting to be welcomed back. So maybe today you stop chasing what you already carry. Maybe today you stop asking for permission to rest, to soften, to live with ease, because life was never meant to be a constant climb. It was meant to be felt, to be savored, to be lived. Fully, freely, and without apology. You don't have to earn ease, you just have to return to it. And trust that in doing so, you're not falling behind, you're finally coming home.